Did you know that porn is bad for you?
Yes.
Could you even believe it if I said that the people producing porn don't have your best intentions in mind?
Really?
Well, in a groundbreaking new report, Michael Knowles Michael Knowles has discovered that no, in fact, pornographers do not have your best interests in mind.
What about the tobacco industry?
Oh, I hate to break this to you, man.
Damn it.
They might just want to make money off of you.
I can't believe the merchants of vice are just bad people.
I know. This was a big shock to me as well. I had to rethink a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it turns out that the operators of MindGeek, now known as ALO, have been caught in an undercover report, Project Veritas style, admitting to some rather unsavory behavior. I know nobody was expecting such a thing from, like you say, the purveyors and merchants of vice. But I think it is interesting because the way that they talk about it really does show that this is probably the mindset of not just those in the porn industry, but anybody in influence creating businesses, any sort of aspect of the media, as we know as well from Project Veritas's various things, that they all hate you and they all want to make you gay. Quite literally, they want to make you gay and they want to make you trans. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but it's the truth. Maybe if we can't bleep that out, editor, but
I think we can probably say that.
I think it's fine.
I mean, this is straight from the horse's mouth, as we'll see as we go along. But first, the website has lots of great videos on it. And
things that won't make you gay.
Yeah, this definitely won't make you gay. This will make you informed, which is the opposite of gay. This was
I used to be gay, but then I went to school. What?
Well, not if you went to British private school. Sadly, sadly. But this was a video that Josh and I did on his contemplation series, talking about the influence of genetics on people's behavior and their politics as well, the heritability of politics. It was a really interesting discussion, and I think there is a lot of value in this video. So please watch that on the website if you can. If you can't, then I've got a great solution for you, which is giving us £5 a month, and then you can watch it. Even better. Win-win. Everybody comes out on top right there. So, Michael Knowles did a very interesting interview with a woman from a company called, I think it's Sound Investigations. They're Project Veritas style investigation journalists. He did a interview with this woman, Arden Young, who produced this sting operation, basically, once again, like a Project Veritas, where she spoke to some of the writers and producers of MindGeek. It was MindGeek, now it's ALO, but I'll keep calling them MindGeek, who are the umbrella corporation that own Pornhub and a whole swath of all of these pornographic websites, and have been in a lot of trouble over the years for some pretty dodgy things that they've put on their website before. I think a few years ago, Pornhub had to remove like 90% of the catalog because they couldn't verify explicitly whether it was underage or rape content or not. And most of them, they didn't care until
it was worse than that. So it was pointed out to them that there was pedophilic and rape content on the website, and their content moderators didn't take it down after being notified multiple times about specific content. So then they were going to get investigated and shut down. So then they just deleted everyone who didn't have a verified account.
I think there was a number of legal suits put against them from people who were saying that I have been put on the website, I was exploited in this video.
I told you multiple times to take it down, and they didn't.
And it was only when they got that pushback, that legal pushback, that they actually did anything about it. So as far as I'm concerned, even just on that basis alone, these companies are evil.
Yeah.
They hate you, and they don't care if you are being exploited. But they're going
to profit from it.
Yeah,
they don't care. They're actively in favor of it.
They're happy to profit for it, but even outside of that, these people have ideological reasons for wanting to push this content onto people. And as we'll find out here, they're very well aware.
I can't believe people who justify from a bad thing have got rationales as to why that's actually a good thing.
I know, but it's very modern rationales for it. It's very intersectional rationales for it. And they're very well aware, as we saw from the Utah, which I'll mention in a few minutes, the Utah lawsuit, which meant that they had to have age verification for Pornhub in that state. They just decided, screw it, we're just not going to operate there. If children can't watch our explicit pornography, we may as well not operate at all.
So the argument in their defense there would be, well, we just can't have the infrastructure for it, right? So, I mean, it's going to be millions of...
You need a porn pass.
Yeah, there's going to be millions of people It's like, well, it's just too much expense. We can't be bothered, right? That's what they would say in their own defense.
That's their own defense, but I don't believe it, especially from what they say.
Saying I believe it.
Not from what they say in here, certainly, because it becomes clear they are operating the business with the explicit knowledge that children will be watching this and tailoring their content for people of up to the age of about 11 or 12 years old.
Jesus,
so that is a crime.
Yes, it is a crime.
Like Facebook, duty bound to 13 and below is off limits, and then they illegally function to make sure their advertising is hitting that below 13 rate.
These people, as far as I'm concerned, should be arrested and tried for various offences. But let's see, because there's some clips in here. So if I John's got them up. So let's watch this one.
Let's say you're 12 years old. You're still figuring out your sexuality, maybe even your gender. Wouldn't it be helpful to see, not a celebration, but just like maybe a normalization of something that you think is what you want, you know? Probably helps a lot. Let's say I was 12 and I saw like trans angels, I saw all these different sites. It would help me figure out what I do like and what I don't like. I need to try to push stuff that's less accepted. Like putting a trans male or a trans female in a scene, you wouldn't get that on a normal mainstream site. So test it out. See if you get a bigger audience with it. See if you can convert somebody, right? Like maybe somebody who's never looked for anything like that might find it interesting and click on it. Same thing for bi stuff, same thing for gay.
That's another senior scriptwriter at MindGeek, now called ALO, but we all know it as Pornhub. That's just the biggest pornographers on the planet.
Yeah.
How do you make 12-year-olds trans and gay?
Yes.
That's your company.
He seems to be justifying it by saying, they might just be trying to find their identity. Yeah. It comes with the assumption that, kids who don't realize that they're already trans will be watching our stuff. So we might as well push it onto them.
This is going to help a lot, isn't it? Help who?
Yeah. But
them.
It seems that they are operating a little bit, whether they say explicitly or not, that there is some elasticity and malleability, especially with, you're talking about 12-year-olds. Obviously, their brains are still incredibly malleable to this.
They shouldn't be on porn sites.
No, of course they shouldn't. No. But seeing as they're going to be anyway.
We may as well convert them. Yeah.
No, but this is actually, I'm pretty sure, an admission of a crime here. Because, as mentioned, social media companies are duty-bound to not go under 13 because of the conflicts of interest there just with social media. For a pornography company to say that we're looking at 12-year-olds and how to get them on the site, no. But that is actually a crime. You cannot be even having those discussions in the office at Pornhub.
Well, they are.
And in which
they are, and they're tailoring their content and algorithms towards it. Because that's what they're also doing. They're tailoring the content and the algorithms. And to see how they're tailoring the content, this next clip's very good because it shows that it's not just the kids. It's also, they explicitly say straight guys. Let's try and get straight guys into this stuff so that we can expand our markets.
The thing is like when you write for like Sean Cody, which is like primarily gay targeted, when you write for Trans Angels, which is trans female presenting targeted, you also try to see how much you can take of that and bring it to mainstream vanilla content, right? Because like Brazzers and Reality Kings is predominantly for straight men, but you try to like push the envelope as much as you can. Be like, okay, can I hint at like bi content here? Can I like talk more about like, what if we brought a trans talent onto the site? And you kind of like take those risks to try and broaden it a little bit more, even though you know that you have a site dedicated to that, right? Like you're always trying to push it a little further. Because the thing about Trans Angels, which is a site, it's female presenting trans women, and like they sell that to straight men. Like that's the demographic.
Why?
So yeah, we're going to try and expand the market by turning straight guys gay, because that's explicitly what the rationale here is. Because if you're talking about,
how does that expand the market?
Well,
it expands the market for trans porn, but it doesn't expand the market of pornography users.
So what's the point?
Because you want them to be diverse.
You want them to be paying for all of this extra content, which is behind the paywalls.
Yeah, but you could do
not
that
behind
with
paywalls.
You could do that with.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of it's free access. So
this
really,
isn't about money.
What you're really doing, the excuse given in some articles that we'll look at in a few minutes are that it is to expand the market so that they can get paid subscribers to these websites, like I think Trans Angels is what it's called. Right. Therefore, it's not about trying to convert straight guys to become gay. It's about expanding the market. But to expand the market, you have to convert them.
But even then, if you control the straight porn, the trans porn, and the gay porn. Getting the straight porn to watch the trans porn doesn't increase the market at all. You still are getting the same amount of money.
But it means that you're converting those viewers into the more transgressive stuff. But like you say, if it's all the same, if
I own Coke and Pepsi, why would I convert Coke purchasers to buy Pepsi?
Yeah,
I get the same money either way.
These are very good questions.
If you're a racist for drinking Coke, not a racist for drinking Pepsi. I've got a social mission.
And then next week, you're a racist for drinking Pepsi. You go back to Coke.
So just for some background as well, here's Arden herself talking to Michael about the background of the investigation and some of the other practices that we've already referenced here. So let's play that.
Well, we were inspired to investigate Pornhub in the first place because of a 2020 New York Times article called The Children of Pornhub. It really detailed struggles of often underage people to get their abuse videos taken off of Pornhub, which were being advertised and monetized. So Pornhub was benefiting monetarily from these videos as well as the abusers uploading the videos. And through months and months of requests and begging Pornhub to take these videos down, the videos were not taken down. Only after legal action was taken, this article came out, did Pornhub start really getting scared and taking these things seriously. But our premise for the whole investigation was maybe their concern was just lip service, and maybe these things are really still going on. So that's what we sought out to prove, and we did. We have multiple previous undercover videos we've published that detail just the lack of age and consent verification for pornographic uploads and pornographic ads going on the site. Advertising porn to appeal to pedophiles and young teens. We just have a plethora of undercover footage that we've been putting out.
So these companies are evil and profit off of rape, pedophilia, underage consumption of very transgressive materials, the active desire to try to convert children into transgressive sexualities and identities.
By pure coincidence, at the same time, upon being evil and supporting rape, they also wanted to make you gay and transgender.
Hi folks, sorry to interrupt the video, but I just wanted to announce that we have a new line of merch in our merch store. The merch store was kind of empty for a while, and so I thought, right, okay, what do I actually want on shirts? And so I just went through some of the most epic and true things that I think that historical people have said, and John managed to make an amazing set of merch out of it. And we will have extra things coming in the store, such as posters for these to go on. Thanks for everything, folks. Now back to the video.
Interesting.
So, I mean, like, I don't use Pornhub. I'm going to assume there are just millions and millions of videos on it, though. Right?
Well, yes. That's why they had
like any video host.
Yeah, like any video hosting site, right? There are going to be millions and millions and millions of user-uploaded videos. So if someone's like, could you take that one down? That features me being raped or something. Why would you show any resistance? That what percentage of art? No, you just take it down because you'd be like, no. Even
it's just like YouTuber, it's a piece of art.
No, yeah, exactly, right. No, it's not even about like morals, right? I'll just assume that every single person working at Pornhub is a despicable human being. Fine, that's taken as a given. But aren't you worried about being sued, right? So you would just take it down, like YouTube, DMCA, right? Okay, that's gone until you appeal it, because otherwise we could get sued. Therefore, we have to just take it down. But Pornhub, like, no, that's staying up. It's free speech. Like, what's their argument? You know, like,
rape is free speech.
No, obviously they're not saying that. But but that's the point. What's their argument? Because you should be like, right, from a company point of view, from a purely business point of view, like, yeah, if someone files a complaint on one of these categories, we just take it down because that insulates the company from lawsuits. You know, you would be a maniac to leave that up.
The industry has safeguards in place for this kind of. Well, I'll tell you in a moment. First, just for some more evidence of what's going on, here's from another man who is a production coordinator at MindGeek. I've got a clip up for this. John, if you want to play this one.
There was a study that was like, I think it was like 11 years old is the average age kids are now viewing. What do you think about that?
I mean, sounds like my age. I also did so.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. You know, definitely associated with puberty.
Right. Like it's natural.
Yeah, exactly. that's the thing, is that a lot of those religious groups will tell you it's not, and that's wrong.
Do you think that kids go on like that?
Do I think they go on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they still go on there for sure.
All you have to do is like what? Probably check a box or something to.
I think so. Yeah. I probably just ask you, are you 18 years old? Yes or no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've done like too much on that. It's got some educational aspects to it, so there's that.
There's so many.
I mean, especially with boys.
What?
Educational aspect.
Yeah, this is sex education now, is it?
Yes. That's the idea. And once again, just showing there that he knows that as she pointed out, 11 years old is the age that some of these people are going onto these websites for the first time. He's like, yep, sounds perfectly fine. That's what I did. I became addicted to porn from a young age, so that means it's perfectly normal and perfectly
look at you.
natural. Yeah, now you're working for a company justifying all this.
I kind of hate this whole conversation about the age of viewing stuff and pornography, because usually it comes down to the solution you get from boomers is the wank pass that we tried to have in the UK. They're like, yes, go to your local license store and get a wank license for one-time use, and then go and have a wank and then buy another one. And it's just like, that's mad. When the obvious solution was just, if you have a kid, you can go to the search engine and put safe search on, and then they can't access porn. You can do that with every device on every search browser they have, and that solves it. But no, we have to get to a conversation about like wank passes, like you were saying about Utah, which I just
well,
like you as a company, Pornhub should not be talking about.
The fact of the matter,
if it gets Pornhub to pull out of that entire state, then I'm kind of in favor of them.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that this content is not just damaging to young people, but it's also damaging to anybody who consumes it. There's been psychological studies that have shown that when the way it affects the brain is it basically acts like a hard addictive drug like heroin.
Yeah.
And you're able to access it for free.
Your local drug dealer is a nicer person than tobacco salesman or these people. I'm totally in agreement with that.
Actually,
your local drug dealer might play video games with you. He's probably better.
They actually probably are nicer and more well-meaning than these people, because he would probably not sell drugs directly to an 11-year-old, although he might, but not all of them, whereas these are gigantic corporations. And one of the
they apparently are totally fine with it.
Yeah, one of the reasons I say that they've got legal safeguards against it so is when Utah decided that they wanted to have the age restrictions really vigorously implemented so that under 18-year-olds couldn't access this material. And then MindGeek decided, right, we're just going to pull out altogether. We're not going to have Pornhub accessible in the whole state. Note as well that Pornhub, they own, MindGeek, I think, owns a website called VPN Hub.
Oh, does it?
Yes. Which obviously means that you can get over these kinds of statewide restrictions. The Free Speech Coalition filed a lawsuit that complained that this was against the First Amendment, because being able to access porn for free at all times with no age restrictions is, of course, a direct violation of what founding fathers intended. God damn it! This is what Jefferson.
11-year-olds accessing porn.
Yeah, this is what Washington wanted.
Benjamin Franklin.
Now, the Free Speech Coalition, as they point out in this NPR article, are a trade organization for the adult entertainment industry. So they're a front legal organization for Pornhub and all these other websites. They've just given themselves an unobjectionable name like the Free Speech Coalition to try and hide that a little bit. Everybody knows it. But when you hear Free Speech Coalition, that sounds a hell of a lot nicer than the Free Porn for Kids Coalition, which is probably a more accurate title.
I'm not even sure if I agree that pornography is a free speech question either. To be honest.
No, I don't think it is either.
This is not political, so.
No, also, the media reactions to this are exactly as you would expect, which is being dishonest and trying to misrepresent the situation. So, also, AA decided to do a bit of gloating on this because he's been saying that porn leads people to this kind of behavior for years, and now everybody's picking up on it. So I thought it was funny that he was gloating.
I can add to that as well. That they're putting transgender stuff to try and turn the straights gay or whatever.
Yep.
I was looking at a research film, and it was a group of women who were all sexually attracted to each other. And I thought, I'll check out that research film. There's a man in it. There's a man in a wig. What the hell is this?
There you go.
At least now I know that it wasn't someone mistakenly titling that research film. It's
very intentional.
Some bellend trying to make me gay.
And thank God it didn't work, right?
Yeah.
That's not a yes. So these are some articles that Michael Knowles himself shared on his account saying that these are completely misrepresenting me, because look at how dishonest the title alone is. Michael Knowles of the conservative Daily Wire claims Pornhub makes you gay or trans. No, it was the writers and producers.
You know, I would probably be like, yeah, I'm making that claim. Now what?
I mean, yeah,
Prove me wrong.
He is, but also he had direct video evidence of the writers and producers saying, yeah, we're trying to do this.
Yes.
Also, we're letting 11-year-olds and 12-year-olds watch this, and we're explicitly making the content for them.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So it says in here, the interview featured claims based on a video clip of Dylan Rice, a senior
Pornhub admitting
a senior content specialist at ALO. Rice was recorded saying, let's say you're 12-year-olds, you're out still figuring out sexuality, maybe even your gender. Wouldn't it be helpful to see not a celebration, but maybe a normalization of something that you think is what you want? Probably helps a lot. Though the content in which he made these assertions is unclear, since the video was edited and shot without his permission. So they're not saying that that's not true, that he said that. They're saying, out of context, bro. Out of context. I mean, what context could make that better?
But also that argument is like totally ignoring this sort of 95% of straight kids who are now having their own development of their own sexual identity attacked by inserting this in front of their eyes, being like, okay, now be more confused. It's like, okay, don't worry about them then.
Knowles' stance often reflects a broader trend within certain conservative circles. So here's where we try and just smear it. Yeah, we got them on footage saying that they want to turn your 11-year-old gay or trans, but don't you understand that he's a transphobic conservative?
Pornhub and Disney.
Yeah.
Yes, we're trying to gay your kids.
My not so secret gay agenda.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
sexual orientation and gender identity are innate aspects of a person's identity. Let's get all the affirmations out there. Decades of scientific research. Don't you understand the American Psychological Association, which definitely doesn't profit from all of this?
What did they say? These are intrinsic.
They're intrinsic, but it seems that the guys writing it and producing it.
Why would you need to do this?
Yeah, they don't seem to be treating it that way when they're writing this stuff.
Yeah. Like
interesting.
They understand that it's malleable, which is why they do this.
Yeah.
If it was just an intrinsic, like they're not trying to change your height by showing you like
tall people.
Yeah, exactly. Showing you pornography of tall people and be like, see, have you thought about growing up a bit? Like, no. Because that is something intrinsic. It's not something that's malleable. Exactly, right? But they know that these things are not intrinsic.
Well, it's because it's been shown time and time again. All you need to do is really, as Rory does every so often, is scour Reddit for these sorts of stories and find that, this person watched pornography, got addicted to pornography, started watching more and more degenerate pornography because the novelty wears off and your brain is seeking novelty to hit the dopamine receptors. And then they end up stumbling onto trans. And now all of a sudden, I get an erection when I look in the mirror wearing a dress. I'm a woman now, I guess. That's what that's what happens with all of these stories, every single one of them, because it does act like a drug. And you can't just get off on that one hit like you used to be able to. You need to get more and more into the weeds of how sick this stuff gets. And so you end up developing some pretty maladaptive behaviors every single time. Now, in the 100 included the comment that a spokesperson for ALO, which once again is what MindGeek is now.
They literally said it in the video.
Yep.
Conservative pundit claims Pornhub is trying to turn straight men gay.
But have you considered ALO, MindGeek's side of the story?
What, when they were like, we're trying to make you gay?
Yeah, but that was out of context, bro. They say the person who was illegally filmed in this video is very clearly speaking of converting free users into paid subscribers. And any insinuation...
gay!
I'm sorry, like, we may sell pornography to kids, but at least I don't illegally film people without their permission. What was that line?
but we will host videos of people who have done that.
Yeah, rape victims who want their videos taken down? No, sir.
Illegally filming me at lunch? Ew.
Yeah, exactly. But exactly.
And as well, LGBTQ Nation as well, doing the same thing. They're all just peddling the same thing where they go like, can you believe Michael Knowles said this? It was just Michael Knowles.
Where were the secret messages? They've made that up. There's no secret messages.
He literally said, they might have clicked on the video because they want to see a man having sex with a woman, but what if the woman actually has a penis?
Good point.
That's what they basically said. But I want to be clear with this as well, that pornography is not just bad if the writers of it are trying to also turn you gay or trans. It's just bad in general for you. You really should stop watching it. I think this is a call for you watching this, if you are watching it, to try and at least minimize your viewing of it as much as possible. Because, and full disclosure, this website that I got this information off Canopy, they seem to be selling some kind of app that allows you to block your own devices from accessing these websites, which seems like a good thing, to be honest. But the information they have on here checks out with all the other information I've been able to find on the effects of it, where they say it impacts your brain like an addictive drug by triggering ever-increasing amounts of dopamine. Over time, the brain builds up tolerance to the excess dopamine and requires either more access or more extreme content to achieve the same level of perceived pleasure. So it's hijacking the pleasure center of your brain. When your brain's reward center triggers the release of dopamine-related chemicals, it also releases a protein, delta phos-B, that serves as a reinforcer. In effect, it creates neural pathways to connect what someone is doing to how they feel, in this case, strongly connecting pleasure to the act of watching pornography. So it's rewiring your brain to seek more of this stuff and more extreme stuff. So it's habituating you into the act of viewing more and more extreme pornography.
But it's also why the Zoomers can't get laid. Right?
That
They don't
too.
even try.
Well, but why would you need to if I can just log on and go onto Pornhub and find all manner of disgusting exploits that I never would have sought out in my own life for free in the click of a button?
I'm really going to have to try and sell heterosexuality to the Zoomers.
Yeah.
Listen, right? Women actually feel nice. Like they're soft and they're nice. They're pleasant.
Yeah, and they finish it off by saying the risks of becoming addicted to pornography is higher for teenagers as the reward centers in the brains respond 2 to 4 times more strongly than those of adult brains.
I can't believe we're at the point where we've got to try and explain to young men why they should be interested in women. Like, that is...
Yes, but have you seen my 2D waifu?
Yeah, honestly, though, right? I'm just thinking back to when I was a teenager, and the idea that needs to be solved. Like, the problem was like, stop, focus on something else. Stop,
Well, they decided to focus on porn instead.
Well, yeah. I mean, thank God I didn't have the internet when I was a teenager.
So yeah, you should probably stop watching porn. And also all of the people organizing these massive companies, all of the writers, the producers, the executives, anybody funneling money to them should be arrested and tried with pretty serious human trafficking, indecency charges, all of them. These companies need to be shut down.
If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the premium videos, this one on the politics of Skyrim. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.